Hey everyone, my name is English Rebel and welcome to episode 1 and my first attempt of my Pokémon Reborn hardcore Nuzlocke. This is a brand new series that I'm currently streaming live on Twitch at twitch.tv/English_Rebel, or you can check it out in the description. I will be releasing new videos of this kind of content in the future, so please subscribe and follow to be updated when new episodes come out. And so, without any further ado, let's get into this. We first have to pick how we look, and unlike other fan games like Pokémon Insurgents or the newer Pokémon generations, we are stuck with the same appearance for the entire game. So, I choose the one that I'm most familiar with, as it isn't my first ever playthrough, but with the game fully finished, there have been some changes since when I last played. I then call myself Rebel, and on a side note, I really love the beginning of this game, as it's so unique to use a train ticket as a form of choosing your character, instead of Gengar eating away at your dreams, or, I don't know, maybe falling from the sky because of literal God. Anyway, we get on the train and are introduced to Ame, who is scouting and recruiting challengers before they arrive. We hand over our train ticket and are taken in as a candidate until suddenly a ghostly figure appears behind me to alert Ame that something is wrong. Ame then saves us as we wake up to find that the entire train station is blown up. Yeah, this gets intense. Ame immediately finds a suspect in the overzealous and bomb-loving electric-type gym leader Julia, who turns out not to be the culprit. Accepting our fate, we make our way to the Grand Hall and meet one of our rivals, Victoria, another challenger like us who wishes to take on the Reborn League. We make our way inside and find that Ame is waiting for our arrival, telling us that the culprit of the bombing escaped, and that in the meantime she has registered us both, as we will be retrieving our starter for our journey. Victoria lets us go first and says that she won't pick the type directly to counter us. Thank the Lord. After thinking for half a second, I choose Torchic. I decide we need a motif for what we need to name our encounters, so I choose food and go with Hot Wings. I choose Torchic in hopes of getting the speed boost hidden ability, and luckily we do. We head back downstairs while Victoria gets her Pokémon, when suddenly this overly flirtatious boy named Kane decides to challenge us to a battle with our new Pokémon. We defeat him easily with 2 embers, and afterwards takes us to Nurse Joy to get healed up. Just as soon, Victoria arrives with Ame to register Kane as well, and in the meantime decides she wants to battle, and so after a few scratches we come out victorious. Do you get it? Because Victoria, never mind. Kane tells us that he's leaving and we make our way back. We get our standardized Pokédex, running shoes and 5 Pokeballs to begin our journey in this new region. Exiting the Grand Hall, we see a girl and a Stuffle blocking the way, and after talking with them, they introduce the forced rule of the level cap, where Pokémon will disobey you if you do not have the correct amount of badges, shown on our trainer card. And if people pay close attention, you'll see that there are more than 8 badges to collect with this level cap, reaching all the way to 100 after collecting all the badges. This is going to be a fun Nuzlocke. Standing here, I think it's a good time to establish the rules of the Nuzlocke, which will also be in the description. Once a Pokémon faints, it is considered dead and cannot be used anymore. I can only catch the first encounter in every area, but I can catch as many event Pokémon as I like. Once I white out, the run is over. I cannot use items in battle, but held items are allowed. The battle style is set. You are limited to the level cap at all times, and if I encounter a shiny Pokémon, I can catch it, except when I'm specifically grinding. Now that we've established the rules, let's move on. We go over to this patch of grass and find a Rattata and call Rat. And yes, people do eat rats, don't ask me why, they just do. We then level him up in preparation for our first battle. Rat swiftly takes out the Hoppip, but we need to switch out in order to defeat the Glameow. We then enter the underground railnet to catch a Woobat as our encounter, and rename it Vampire Wing. After getting the encounter, I decide to train Hot Wings to get them max EVs, in preparation for the late game. After a while of training, Hot Wings evolves into Combuskin and learns Double Kick, but not soon afterwards, we find a shiny Noibat, which is a custom shiny in this dark ink colour, and it looks beautiful. But unfortunately, we have to kill it. as we are grinding. Until we find another one a few minutes later. And we're still grinding. So we have to kill it. On to some more lighter news. We move on to some of the encounters. We talk to this girl who has called the bug-type gym leader to help with a quote-unquote sick Pokemon, but in reality they just need some action and they entrust the Pokemon to us. We name it Corn, and the bug leader Shelly thanks us for their help. We then talk to some dude blocking an alleyway and we find our lower Peridot encounter, Dog the Poochyena. We make our way up to the Peridot ward, however mid-battle, V-Wing evolves as if we were in the Pokemon anime, which is so amazing. Moving on, we take down another person guarding an alleyway and get our Peridot encounter, Onion the Purloin. And we also grab the Old Rod for another encounter later. We grab Peach the Skitty, Horse the Blitzel, I said don't question me, Cheese the Joltik, Sprout the Budu, and a few others. And that's not all. While grinding to get max attack EVs on Combuskin, we find not one, not two, not three, but 8 more shinies, which just goes to show why I can't catch any shinies while grinding. With that incredible news on our shoulders and our powerhouse ready, we go ahead and find a mysterious person interrogating someone in full black clothing. Startling them both, it allows one of them to escape, and the green man, who we learn is Fern, is so annoyed that he challenges us to a battle, claiming he's top dog, but we quickly find that he's a pushover. We then find that an inspector had captured the grunt from a team called Team Meteor and found that they were the ones to blow up the station. After Fern manipulates him into giving us more information, he deduces that they are probably held in the water treatment center that houses Reborn City's core statistics. We meet Fern there along with Julia and Fern's sister and second gym leader, Florinia. Julia then decides that she wants to commit arson today and blows up the locked front door, also alerting their attention and leading them to begin to remove the data that was stored in there. We find that a person commanding the assault is someone called Ace, taunting us from a higher level. So, we defeat some grunts and find the code to an elevator, where she proceeds to turn off the power to stall us. Until Julia and Florinia turn it back on, and after doing so, she retreats. Julia then has the right idea to steal the explosives that they have stored here in order to get into where Ace has escaped, while Florinia tries to brute force her way through the possible combinations to open the door. We then fight even more grunts to find a passcode and grab the explosives for Julia, but just as they are about to explode, the door opens and the bombs still go off, to no avail. We make our way inside and find that most of the data is missing, and that there are 2 admin bosses here. We are then left to deal with 2 grunts, with what seems to be a higher status, but they are defeated easily, once again. Seeing that they are outnumbered, they leave using a smoke bomb, and the building is blown up thanks to Julia's leftover explosives. Finishing up, we are given the Area Field add-on to our Pokegear, as different terrains do different things in this game, which you will see in the upcoming gym fight against Julia. She starts off with the Minun, and we start with Rat, who we can immediately kill with Hyper Fang. She then switches into Geodude, and we retaliate by swapping into Dog to get the Intimidate off, to better deal with the now electric type Tackle, as normal type moves turn electric thanks to the terrain. We defeat it by using Bite, and then Oricorio comes in. So, again, we switch into Horse, as they can't take any damage from electric type moves thanks to their Motor Drive ability, and are resistant to all of their flying moves. On the Switch, they just use Tailwind, so it goes down without being dealt too much damage. They then send in Plusle, and we again switch into Onion, who can take it out while being paralysed in the process, leading them to bring out their Ace Electrode. Because it has Sonic Boom, we bring Rat back in, as they have most of their HP to deal with it. We get hit with both Sonic Boom and Charge Beam, while Rat decides to be completely useless and miss a Hyper Fang. Not having enough HP, we switch back into Dog, who takes a lot of damage and only gets up a Bite. We finally switch into Horse again and gain the benefits from it trying to use Charge Beam again, and they finish them off. Finally, it's their Voltorb, and scared of it using self-destruct, I go into Sprout, who can finish them off. And we get the Volt Badge, along with the TM for Charge Beam. After defeating Julia, We see Victoria outside the gym waiting for us to get our badge to see if we can help the situation in Obsidia Ward, where vines have become overgrown unnaturally. However, when we get to the border, the guards stop us from entering because they want to secure the situation where no one gets in or out. Which is sort of stupid because if these people are strong, they would surely have Pokemon who know fly, but whatever. Floriania comes to our rescue and informs the officer that we could be a useful asset to the problem and allows us entry. We meet back up with them and find that an associate of Floriania called Amaria has not arrived with the necessary TM to advance into the forest due to some block trees. According to her, their last known location was south of where we were. So, we have to travel through the Obsidia slums. Making our way there, Victoria decides to ask if we would have a battle with her, and we agree. This was a mistake. V-Wing takes out Roltz with a lucky crit, and she then brings in Pichu, so I switch into Horse to try and absorb any electric type moves, and eventually take it out with a Flame Charge, getting a bunch of speed increases. Overconfident, we stay in for the Pancham, dealing some damage for them to hit 4 times with an arm thrust and kill Horse. Devastated, we kill with V-Wing and they go into Torracat. We switch to Hot Wings to find out it has Bulk Up and Dual Chop. We then switch out the Dog to get the Intimidate and we take out the Torracat with 2 bites. We then get some encounters to replace the loss, like Ice Cream the Vanillite, Apple Pie the Numal, and Spaghetti the Onyx. We replace Horse with Cheese and leveling up to get through the slums. Making our way to the end, we see a Scraggy entering a closed off room, thinking it might be an encounter, only to see some of its friends hop out of boxes and a Scrafty drop from the ceiling to fight us in a double battle. We start with V-Wing and Rat. We get intimidated, so V uses an air cutter and we switch out to Dog to get the Intimidate off. They then use 2 feint attacks on V-Wing, getting them really low. So we switch out to Hot Wings to resist the dark type moves, and Dog stays in for a bite. After taking out a Scraggy, Scrafty comes in. So I switch out to Sprout for a fighting type move on Dog, while Hot Wings double kicks the Scrafty. We get swaggered, but break through the confusion and finish off the Scrafty, while Sprout takes care of the Scraggy, leaving the last one left to be taken out with Cheese and Sprout. On our way out, we find an abandoned egg, which can either be a Drowsy, Ducklet, or Bronzor. We also see a Spoink hiding under the pipes, but it runs away. We make our way continuing south into the Coral Ward, where we encounter Tortilla, the Lotat, and leftovers, the Grimer. We then see Amaria worrying about a Poplio that seems to be stuck on a platform for a lighthouse. Then, Kane arrives to help rescue the Poplio, using their Grimer, because the water is too polluted for normal water Pokemon to live in. Poplio then, thrilled, wants to travel with Kane, and as a way to get familiar with Kane, they challenge us to a battle. They start with Grimer and we start with Dog. We eventually take it out and they send in Cubo. We switch out to Sprout and easily take it out. And in comes Poplio. And even though it has Icy Wind, we can just out-heat with Mega Drain. And then comes in Nidorino. We pivot into Dog, then V-Wing, and take it out with 2 Confusions. After the battle, we remind Amaria of what they were doing and they give us the TM for Cut. Using the TM, we attempt to get some encounters. However, when trying to catch an Electrike, we have to double battle 2 Mightyenas at level 25. In this fight, we lose both Cheese and Sprout, which was unfortunate to say the least. After this, we get 2 more encounters, Bellsprout, which we kill, and Oddish, which we name Beetroot. Training them up, we dive deeper into the problem in Obsidia, using the new TM we got. The teams split up, but we find that everyone gets captured. 2 by Vines, and an assailant to take Victoria as a captor, after she's split up from me. Wanting to get this over with, we prepare to take on the new addition / gimmick in this game, with the pulse machines that the players have to fight. We meet Zell, a person that seems to speak with multiple personalities, and after introducing themselves, they fight us with the pulse Tangrowth. I start off with Dog to intimidate and then go into V-Wing to exploit the change of type caused by the pulse. He uses Mega Drain on the switch, but we tank it and trade blows of Confusion and Acid Spray. I realise they can't take another one, so I switch to Beetroot and only fail to poison it with Poison Powder. So we switch to Dog and use Sand Attack to see if it will miss, but it doesn't, and it gets us very low. We switch to Bree, who can use a Flame Burst to change the field to reduce grass type moves and deal consistent damage. I then pivot from B-Wing into Rat, who can Hyper Fang and get it down to the red, and the Tangrowth misses thanks to the Sand Attack, saving Rat and defeating the Pulse. Zell then escapes and the two gym leaders are freed. Amaria heads home and Florinia invites us to challenge her at her gym in the Onyx Ward, but I go and decide to get some more encounters. We get Poached the Happini, Pork Pie the Spoink, and Raspberry the Glammeow. However, when trying to get a Bounce Sweet, you know what, I'll just show you. Oh. So we might wipe. I did not expect them to be level 45. I might be screwed here. Talk about the best boy paladin: Wooper, Die, Restart, Train Crash, Victoria, Soft Reset for Hot Wings, Fight Rival 2, Rat Ratata, Peach Skitty, Onion Purloin, Leftovers Trubbish, Corn Cricketot, Sprout Budu, Baby Food Whismer, Olive Gulpin, Mint Minchino, Fountain Pample, Origini Blitzel, Ant Grubbin, Lemon Juice Surskit, Shiny Event Pachirisu, Eel Tynamo, Cotton Candy Igglybuff. Forget to save, redo everything, and new Shiny Pachirisu. Turkey Delight, Fight Idiot 3. Enter the factory, get stuck in an elevator, fight Dynamic Duo, escape blown up building, fight Julia, lose Origini because of forgetting Aftermath, lose Squirrel because of forgetting Aftermath, Nuts Clink, Apple Pie Noomal, Spaghetti Onyx, Lettuce Hoppip, Victoria defeated, Crab Brawler, Scrafty Gang, Tortilla Lotad, Kane defeated, Shiny Grimer named Yogurt, Raspberry Glammeow, Ice Cream Vanillite, Use Cut to enter Forest, Beetroot Oddish, Gumball Coughing, Victoria captured, Fight Zell, Leftovers Sweep. And that's about where we left off last episode. So, let's continue with our regularly scheduled format. We head over to the patch of grass and change the time of day in order to get better chances at Pokemon more favourable than if we encountered something at night. As you probably gathered from last episode, where weather and time affect types of encounter, and also event Pokemon. With that in mind, we find a Bonsly and name it Bait. We then head into the same alleyway we found Coughing, and grab a Plusle we named Chip, that could have some use thanks to Clink having the Minus ability. We then make our way into the Onyx Ward and try to enter the school to challenge Florinia. However, Fern stops us when we enter and blocks off the entrance so we can't get in. So, we make our way to the other entrance that is being guarded by a trainer, but we defeat them and have access to the school. Defeating all the trainers, we encounter a student named Hardy that helps us unlock the door in our path that has a knack to opening it. We then answer all the questions, thanks to Google, and begin to formulate a team to take on Fern, who guards the entrance to the gym fight. He starts off with a Sandile, which we can take out easily with Sprout. So, then he goes into his own Roselia. I switch to Hot Wings and defeat the Roselia while getting poisoned by Poison Point. Fern then sends in the devil himself, Dartrix, who was Pluck really early in the game. So, we switch to Spaghetti to resist, and outspeed next turn with a Rock Tomb thanks to weak armor, reducing Dartrix's speed for the rest of the fight. Razor Leaf then misses, and we are able to get off another Rock Tomb to reduce their speed even more. However, this time it connects, and being quad weak to grass, he goes down. Rest in peace, Spaghetti, you will be missed. We then switch to Apple Pie, who can finish the fight with a Flame Burst. Fern is then incredibly salty and decides that he should take on the Reborn League as well, even though he always gets crushed by me. After that loss, we now get access to Pineapple the Pichu and to Duck and the Spearow. We then spend some time leveling up and making a strategy to defeat Julia. In the fight, Julia starts off with Maractus and we start with Turducken. who can outspeed and kill them in one hit. They then send in Ferroseed, so we switch to Apple Pie to exploit the quad effective type while Ferroseed sets up a Sandstorm. They then send in Cradilly, where we switch out to Olive who can Toxic while Cradilly sets up with Stockpile. We then attack twice with Acid Spray and take a lot of damage, so we switch to Sprout who can take the hit and attack back with Giga Drain, regaining some lost health. Then they send in Cacnea, who hits us with a Pin Missile on the switch, but we take them out easily. Then comes in Breloom, so we pivot into Lemon Juice to get the Intimidate off, but they get hit with Spore, so we have to switch again into Sprout, who cannot be put to sleep and could slowly take out the Lombre. And finally, the Cottony comes in, so we switch to Gumball, who can take them out, winning us the battle. We then get the TM for Nature Power, when Amario arrives to give us some news about the new Pulse in Jasper, and tells us they have permitted us entry. We then grab Cabbage the Petalil, take on the fake daycare couple, save the real daycare couple, find Pork Pie the Spoink, poach the Happini, get the item finder from a doctor we'll see in a later episode, grab an egg for saving the daycare couple, and finally get Pombear the Stuff. Talking to the police officer allows us entry into the Jasper ward, where we see a young girl named Heather and her father exit the police station. Heading in ourselves, we find out that the Chief's team has gone missing and asks us to find them and return them back to the station. We then get our encounters for the area: Skewer the Beedrill, Peanut the Emolga, and in Malturous Forest, we get Bell Pepper the Bellsprout. Exploring Malturous Forest, we find it overgrown like Obsidia, and after cutting down some trees, we meet back up with Heather, who ditched her father to explore and take down Demetia, even after her father's warnings. We find one of the missing police officers, and then encounter this grunt, who almost takes out Fountain on the switch, but he survives and we switch to Nuts to make sure we don't die. We then move past the tree line and find a Nincada egg, which actually gives us 2 Pokemon when it evolves. Now that we have explored everything, we construct the perfect team to take on the next Pulse Pokemon, now with a different added type of Rock instead of Poison. Dropping down into the destroyed gym, we see a man inside named Taka, who doesn't seem bothered by me trying to stop him. Suddenly, grunts show themselves from the shadows and attempt to overwhelm me, while Heather drops in and we take on Taka. He starts off with an Execute, and we start with Skewers, who can kill with a Pin Missile. Then they send in their Chatter, so we switch to Peanut, who resists the Chatter but also makes us confused. We then nuzzle to get the guaranteed paralysis, and they hit us again with the resisted Chatter. We then hurt ourselves in confusion twice in a row and get taken down into the red. Risking Peanut, we kill with Electro Ball, then they go into Pulse Tangrowth. So, we switch to Tortilla, who can resist the incoming Rock Tomb, and pivot into Lemon Juice. However, I forgot Tangrowth has Arena Trap, which prevents us from switching, and after a few uproars, Tortilla goes down. We then switch to Lemon Juice, who can get the Intim off, and can hit hard with an Air Cutter, taking it down to the red, while we get hit with a Rock Tomb, doing just over half, allowing us to outspeed and kill the Tangrowth. Defeating Taka, Heather gives us an escape by flying on her Salamence. Disappointed it didn't fall, Heather's father appears and attempts to scold Heather, but she doesn't care and flies away. Reorganizing the team, we find another police officer, along with Lamb the Mareep. Heading up into Beryl, we get Bubblegum the Drifloon, Broccoli the Pansage, and enter Rhydocrin Jungle to find a Tangler named Ginger. I then fall for this stupid trap while I speed up and get knocked out by Nuzleaf. Waking up, we see Fern outside the cage mocking us and offering to help us if we beg. We refuse and they leave. After waiting a bit, a Chatot appears to free us and gives us a message mimicking a voice. We then move over to find Kane also trapped, so we free them and get help from Heather to open the gate for us. They both leave, allowing us to explore the jungle to the fullest. And after exploring for a while, we encounter a grunt who manages to kill Fountain, thanks to Boldor's sturdy ability and getting 4 hits in a row. Multi-attack moves suck. Moving on after that disaster, we drop down this trap and make our way over to the pool of water to encounter Sour Patch the Chinchou, and Snake the Survivor. We then find 2 more police officers who are trapped and proceed to get both Deer, the Stantler, and Kiwi, the Tailor. After this, we find the ill-fated doll along with Growlithe, looking down a hole to see the last remaining policeman, crumpled due to the collapse. With that, we go back to the police station to report, and as thanks, the chief gives us Orange the Growlithe, as it no longer has a partner. Talking to one of the police officers, we find that his partner was stolen by Team Meteor and would trade us an egg he found in exchange. So we got the egg, and it was a Trapinch egg. And so we go on a hatching spree, getting Grasshopper the Nincada, Dragonfruit the Trapinch, Blubber the Spheal, and Taco Bell the Bronzor, as well as getting Plum the Makuhita in the slums. Then we get the team together in order to counter the setting up tank growth. We bring Hot Wings, Onion, Kiwi, Sour Patch, Gumball, and Plum. Walking in, we see Borealis, Zell, Taka, and Ace surrounding us. However, Borealis notices Amaria hiding and calls her out. We are still outnumbered until Fern and Kane drop in and even the playing field. Then, Heather takes center stage on Salamence, provoking them to send in their private to take care of them, leaving Ace and the Pulse to us. Ace starts off with Tangrowth, holding a Telluric Seed. Seeds in this game change depending on the field the Pokemon is in, and is usually beneficial to the opponent in these types of fights, but in this case it puts up a spiky shield. Tangrowth then goes for Taunt, and we get off our speed boost. Then we double kick them to kill them, to now reveal Zorora. Gotcha, you thought it was the pulse and everything. Anyway. They send in Braixen, who can definitely kill with Psybeam, so I pivot into Onion to neutralize it, and go into Sour Patch, who resists the Fire Spin. She then withdraws to send in their shiny Roselia, and we hit with a weak Bubble Beam, and get the speed drop. So we switch to Kiwi, who can resist the Giga Drain and hit back with Aerial Ace. Then they switch in a shiny Boltoy, so we switch again into Onion, knowing it's going for Rock Tomb. So we combo him with Fake Out and Assurance. Then comes in Braixen, and we again switch to Sour Patch, who can resist the Fire Spin and leave Braixen with the Sliver. Proccing their Citrus Berry, they fail to hit Hypnosis. We then finish them off, while taking some of the residue Fire Spin damage. And then the real Pulse comes in. So we switch to Gumball, our own ace, which has Clear Smog, removing their buffs and dealing minimal damage until they realise they can't set up anymore. And we switch to Plum, who can barely drum freely, healing with an Oran Berry and killing with Force Palm. After Ace's defeat, Heather is thrown across the battlefield by the Private. Borealis then gets worried about Heather, showing his true colours. Amaria then steps in to fight off the recruit and lets us both escape, making our way around to see a street rat trying to trouble us. But in reality, it's the police in disguise, here to put Borealis under arrest. It is then revealed that it's actually a retired gym leader named Corey Molinar. He then escapes in some poisonous smoke, and the chief deduces he's heading to the gym. After that revelation and some off-screen grinding, we get a bunch of coins to get TM's Substitute, Fachade, and Attract, along with our prize corner encounter being a Nidoran male named King Brawl. We then get our Beryl Cemetery encounter, Chicken Legs, the Doduo, and the event Pokemon Lizard, the Helioptile. Entering his old gym, we figure out the police officers are in a hypnotic state. We then solve the puzzle inside and find Corey, taking care of an unconscious Heather. So, you found me after all. You've already ruined everything I've worked for. What more do you want? No. Perhaps it is wrong to blame you. Once again, words are pointless. Miserable as it is for an old man backed into a corner like me to make requests, there's something I must ask of you. I'll return to the arena. There, you should defeat me properly. After talking with Corey, we grant his wish and enter the battle room. He confesses he wishes to put Borealis to rest, and so he engages. He starts off with Scrub and we lead with Sour Patch. We go for Spark, which should have one shot, but they are holding a focus sash, which I had missed before, allowing them to get off a Venom Drench and inflicting us with poison because of the field we are in. We kill, and then they go into Skuntank, forcing us to switch to Apple Pie, while we get hit with Pursuit and poisoning our Pokemon again. They then bring out Crobat, so we switch again into Taco Bell, while they set up some nasty plots. We go for Future Sight, and on the next turns, they go for Venom Drench, as they have no way of dealing reliable damage, and we reduce their HP low enough to where Future Sight kills. They then go to Marini, and we switch to Ant, who can take the damage from their high physical defense. After eventually killing, they go to Krogunk, who has Mud Bomb. So we switch to Kiri, but they go for Venoshock instead. Not wanting to die to its Sucker Punch, I calculate the damage it would take and risk it, managing to kill with the super boosted Facade, leaving Nidoran left to be taken out by Kiwi thanks to them not having priority moves. After Corey is defeated, he says that Team Meteor will already be informed about his betrayal and wishes us to keep Heather safe. However, Heather overhears and questions Corey on what he means, and after witnessing the conflict, he asks Heather if she is wearing her mother's ring, telling her not to lose it. She then leaves, and Corey tells us to come to the Beryl Bridge if we want a show. Right. You're done. You've served me well. But now you're free. Get lost. That means you too. You're not special. Gotta move on. I said get lost already. You're not wanted here anymore. With that out of the way, I won't be needing these anymore. Corey threw away the Pokeballs. I never wanted it to be this way. If I had my choice, I never would have joined Team Meteor. I was cursed by my own luck. There was a ring with a single brilliant ruby. I purchased it from a travelling merchant some time ago. I was never one for jewellery myself, but it was the most dazzling ring I'd ever seen. I decided that I would introduce that ring to what true beauty was. I promised it to my love, and she accepted it. The luck is never one-sided. Back then, I was happy. I was naive. Shortly after we married, my wife became pregnant. That was the beginning of the end. She did not survive Heather's birth. I was told that she died because of the mechanical error during the delivery. Unlucky. But that wasn't all there was to the story. I would later learn that the doctor assigned to her had been dispatched by Team Meteor specifically to obtain that ring. So I found him. I carved for him regrets that he would not soon forget, and I seized the ring. But in the end, I failed, because he had Heather. The ring for her life. But there was no promises there. Instead, I made a deal. My service for her safety. And as a bonus, I would keep the ring. To me, it was the last token of our happiness. Heather was the last joy we never got to share. Now, because of it, she's gone. There's nothing left. I cannot return to Team Meteor. They believe I am a traitor. But I cannot turn against them, since my identity has been revealed. If not to the police, then to that woman. She clearly knew who I was in the first place. Now, I can't even protect the one thing I sought to. One wrong move and our lives will be wagered against each other's again. I won't let that happen. Rebel, Heather has the ring. She will be hunted for it. Please watch over her for me. And one more thing. Embedded underneath the jewel of the ring is a small data chip. In it, you'll find no small amount of information on Team Meteor, their projects, and bases of operation. Consider it payment for the burden I leave with you. I will no longer have the right to call myself her father. I wonder if I ever did. I've waited so long just to feel the wind on my cheek again. I wanted to go chasing the horizon with you one more time. Fly a little faster, darling. Just a little more. And I'd swear we could reach out and touch the moon. Wow, what a moron. Did that dumbwad really just throw himself off Beryl Bridge? Sucker's gone for sure. And you're telling me that was Borealis? Looks like Meteor's agent is just a spot on the sidewalk now. You probably think I'm heartless, yeah? But he was still our enemy, remember? This is just natural selection. Some odd terrorist goes crazy and throws himself off a bridge. Big deal. But if you're really so concerned about him, why not just go down and find him yourself? Look, he fell into Lapis Ward right below us. You can get there just by going north from Opal Bridge. I mean, I don't see the point, but what the hell was that? Yo, Rebel, look over there. That's a huge plume of smoke. I think it's coming from North Obsidian Ward. Something's going down. I'm going to find out what it is. Hey, loser. After this, we decided to go to the library and see a family of Gothitelle needing help cleaning up the place. So we help, and in return, Gothita, we call Fig, wishes to travel with us. We then grab our North Obsidio alleyway encounter, Dog the Puchiena, and head into the club to find the TM for Protect. Then, making our way to the Lapis Ward, we see a purple-haired girl in front of a large building, saying it's their birthday and something about vengeance before they leave. We then catch during the Stunky, and inside the Pokemon, we find a religious person who gives us the TM for Hail, which is just peak comedy for me. Making our way over to see the damage, we see two people over by the covered alleyway behind the gym, where a small girl witnesses the event. As they are wondering what happened, we see two grunts on the rooftop reporting on the fall, also informing us that the explosion at the stairway was them. And after they leave, a ghost that we have seen before appears, and is referred to as the ghost-type gym leader no less, and cleans up the mess. The person named Cal then squares up to us, being overly aggressive, but in a more protective way. When they leave, we see Kane arrive, planning to take on Shelly, but with the current situation, they aren't seeing anyone. So Kane suggests checking out the situation at the underground stairway. Making our way over, we see it's completely taken over by the police. So Kane suggests that they distract one of the officers to let them past. Inside, we catch Bat the Noibat, and while trying to change the terrain, I'm not paying attention and get hit with a super effective move from an unknown, which could have easily ended Dragonfruit. And for that, we get the field effect. Not really worth it. We then make our way down further into the cave to this iridescent ruin, where we see one of the leaders of Team Meteor, describing that this place is holy, and that the land above is built to be a tumor to this sacred place. Moving past him, we see the two people who were on the rooftop before, blocking Victoria in, so we fight them. However, they get taken care of with the combined strength of Jurian and Victoria's Pokemon. Leaving, we see Victoria outside, disappointed that they were captured in the first place, and asks to prove themselves with a battle. She starts off with Pancham and we start off with Sprout, who can Giga Drain the Pancham in one shot. They then send in Torracat and we send in Dragon Fruit to resist the Fire Fang. They then use Bite and we retaliate with an Earthquake, leaving it with a Sliver. They then bite again, which causes us to flinch, so we switch to Peanut, who can get the static on the hit, allowing us to outspeed and hit with acrobatics. Then Pikachu comes in and fake outs us. And because the only damaging move they have is electric, we can go back into Dragon Fruit freely and kill. Then Curlier comes in, and we switch to Duran, who is immune to their psychic attacks, and can kill them in 2 shots without being dealt too much damage. Victoria is disappointed until Fern shows up to mock us, still calling himself top dog. So, we get healed by Victoria and fight Fern. He starts with the Rhyhorn and we have Sprout in front, due to this being in a gauntlet style format. He then sends in Roserade, so we switch to Durian to make the extrasensory ineffective. They then go for Sleep Powder, which lands, allowing them to deal a bunch of damage with hidden power. We eventually wake up and hit them with 2 flamethrowers, and calculating it will kill on a crit, we risk it, and they go down. They then send in Krokorok, so we pivot to Dragon Fruit, and then to Ant, and then back to Dragon Fruit to go to Sprout, who can take the crunch and kill with Mega Drain. Then he brings in the Devil Dartrix, who we switch into Peanut, which resists the pluck, and can kill them in 2 hits. Fern then leaves after some snarky remarks, which causes Victoria to lose her cool until they collect themselves and give us Rock Smash. We then formulate a team and prepare to fight Cal in the rain, the first really tough fight in the game. We prepare by giving Hail to Sour Patch, leveling up Blubber, and pre-poisoning Kiwi to get the boost of Guts. We then try to head into the gym when he meets us outside as we enter. He starts with Torkoal, which has Drought, to change the terrain to a rainbow field and puts up harsh sunlight, while we bring in Sour Patch. We use Hail to remove the terrain and the sun, and they use Stealth Rocks. We then get them really low with Bubble Beam, and they retaliate with Nature Power, turning it into Tri-Attack. We then kill, and they go to Magmortar, so we switch to Dragon Fruit, and they use Feint Attack on the switch. They then outspeed and use Fire Punch to get us into the red as we hit them with a gem-boosted Earthquake to kill. Then Houndoom comes in, so we switch to Hot Wings, who resists the Snarl on the switch. Houndoom outspeeds but misses their Inferno, allowing us to kill with another gem-boosted Double Kick. Then it's Charmeleon, who uses Dragon Rage on the switch to Apple Pie. Then, thanks to Quick Claw, we outspeed and kill with Earth Power. Finally, it's their Quilava, so we go to Sour Patch, who gets hit with the Tri-Attack, which freezes us. I then go to Blubber, who also gets hit with the Tri-Attack again, but no status this time. I realise they're going for Hidden Power Electric, so we switch back to Apple Pie, but they use Incinerate, leaving us very low. Panicking, I switch back to Blubber, calculating that we'll survive a hit after switching, completely forgetting that Stealth Rocks leaves us in the red. Realising now we have to sack someone for the safe switch to Kiwi, and so I switch to Apple Pie, who survives both the rocks and the flame charge. Apple Pie lives! Apple Pie lives! Apple Pie, I swear, if you Quick Claw this... Oh my days! Yo! Apple Pie! Oh my days! Oh! Oh my! Oh, my heart right now is pounding! Oh my! At this point, I just saved and ended stream out of all of the adrenaline and excitement. And if you want to see these moments, check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/English_rebel. And while you're at it, drop a follow, as it's always great to see new people watching the stream. The next day, we made our way into the gym and see Kane and Victoria already inside talking with Shelly, her curled into a ball. upset and overall down in the dumps after the way she was treated by Fern. Then, after Cal arrives to defuse the situation, Kane mentions Heather, which reminds Shelley of the fall and causes her to throw up, showing her state of distress. Downstairs, Cal suggests we find a doctor that lives nearby to check up on her. So, we make our way, and we try to enter but bump into someone, relieved to be making their way out. Hi again! Oh, you're not Laura. Did you see her? She just left. Who are you? Why are you all glowing? Nobody is glowing, Anna. Huh? But that person clearly is. Oh, forget it. Come in. I'll introduce you to everyone. Okay, so I'm Anna. Hi, and this is my Jirachi, Nostra. She says it's nice to meet you. Over there is my twin brother Noel and his clever Nomos. Nomos and Nostra are their dolls. Oh, sorry. Nomos and Nostra are just dolls, but hi. Nomos says hi too, I guess. Don't lie, Noel. They're not just dolls. They're important magical guardians our parents left for us. Other than my pendant, they're all we have from them. So stop being ridiculous. You'll want to talk. Anyway, that's my friend Charlotte. She's actually really, really pretty. You just have to see through the burn scars. Anna, for the last time, I don't have any scars. She's not lying, Anna. But, oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm so insensitive. I won't talk about them anymore, I promise. I was just saying that you're pretty. There's nothing to talk about. Never mind. Hi. So you saw Laura on the way out, yeah? That's my sister. She's also one of the Reborn's Elite Four. Awesome kind of runs in our family. No big deal. If you're going to say that, you may as well mention how Anna... Yeah, Laura's so cool. And Charlotte and Noel are also gym leaders. Anna? I'm gonna miss Laura, but I'm glad she's finally getting out. Felt like I'd never see the day. See, we're all stuck here until we either turn 18 or the good doctor finally decides to let us go. So, basically, forever. The doctor is scary. Yeah, he's a really strong electric type Pokemon, and he uses it in his therapy. It really hurts. Nostra says that she thinks his past patients have died. And I think so too, because when we're around him, if you listen carefully, you can hear a voice. Yeah, I still don't know about that one. So, Rebel, what are you here for? Someone you know needs help? Oh no, that's terrible, but you mustn't bring her here. That'll only make her worse. Hold on. Nostra says that the doctor is coming. Dr. Sigmund Cornell then appears and introduces himself, asking why we are here. Anna tries to cover for us by making the excuse that we heard that there were gym leaders here. The doctor then orders his assistant to battle with me, but we wipe the floor with him. He's impressed with our skill, but cannot permit a battle as their arena is being renovated. Anna then tries to get us to leave, but the doctor stops them, and we inform the doctor why we are really here. Before we leave, Anna gives us the advice we need, until they are called again for holding us up at the door. We inform them that the doctor is coming and relay the advice we got, and Shelley realises the truth in this statement, and gets a little better. She then agrees to let us fight her, as she's feeling a lot better. Getting through the gym puzzle, we formulate the best team to take on Shelley. The interesting thing about this fight is that it's in a double battle style format, meaning we have to deal with multiple Pokemon at once, along with the field boosting her attacks. And, after the nerves settle, we decide to take her on. She begins the fight with Illumise and Masquerain, having both Intimidate and Prankster, and we start off with Onion and Apple Pie with the Telluric Seed. Prankster allows Illumise to use Rain Dance with priority and stops us from changing the field and hitting them with heavy fire damage. So, to combat this, we have Liepard to use Fake Out to stop it from happening, and Kill with Apple Pie, unfortunately leaving Liepard in the red from Masquerain's Struggle Bug. The field then combusts from our Flame Burst, leaving Onion with 1 HP left.
Then they bring in Arachnid, so we hit them with a gem boosted assurance to deal some damage before Onion goes down. Apple Pie then goes for Flame Burst again, focusing the Arachnid so it doesn't get off a quad effective move on Apple Pie. But due to the Struggle Bug reducing our special attack, we don't get enough damage off, and they kill Apple Pie as well. Rest in peace, you lucky camel. We then bring in Peanut and Hot Wings to take out both Masquerain and Arachnid, bringing in Volbeat and Young Mega. Both of these Pokemon are a problem, with Young Mega knowing Ancient Power and Volbeat knowing Tail Glow. We decide Volbeat to be the biggest problem, so we double down on them to guarantee the kill, whilst Young Mega uses Air Cutter, which should have killed Hot Wings but didn't, leaving them very low. Then Anorith comes in, who has Rock Slide. Trying to focus the kill on our starter, they go for Aqua Jet and Air Cutter again, but we switch to Gumball, who can take the hits while Peanut goes for Acrobatics on the Young Mega, getting a critical hit which definitely mattered. Letting Peanut finish the fight with Acrobatics, this gives us Rock Smash outside of battle and gives us the TM for Struggle Bug. After we head back to our room, we seek Victoria trying to teach Cal how to meditate. Our conversation is immediately interrupted, however, by the doctor, who arrives for their checkup. Getting down to business, he inquires about her situation and presumes Cal and Victoria are her parents due to the age difference. Flustered, they correct him and ask where her parents are. We then find out that she is signed to consent from her parents and uses the money as a gym leader to live here. We then learn that Cal and her met through the League with Cal's brother.
Yes, Cal Whittaker, was it? Your successor is a client of mine. I recall hearing about the circumstances before your resignation. I admit I was quite bemused to hear that a fire-type gym leader would lose to a team full of ice types like that. Hey, shut up. For what purpose, I wonder? Do you live in denial or to yourself about the incident? Or are you simply embarrassed to admit failures in front of present company? I am a psychiatrist with a focus in developmental psychology. But you only work with children, right? At the moment, I am not entirely convinced that you aren't one. What did you just effing say? But please. Cal, maybe this is not a good time for us to try. I don't want to hear it. This chump thinks he can just bust in here and act like he knows us all better than we know ourselves. I was requested to come. Some effing doctor. Cal, please, he was just trying to understand. Understand what, exactly? That we both just want to be seen and loved by our brothers. Like hell I do! Wait. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Step away from the girl, Mr. Whittaker. Mr. Whittaker? Last time I heard that was... going. Young lady, are you hurt? Not really. It was just a shove, and the couch is soft. He didn't mean to. You do not have to minimize or make excuses for him. It was my fault for getting too close anyway. Leave us. Extraneous company has done enough harm for one moment. Sure thing. Let's go, Rebel.
After all of the arguing, Cal and Victoria talk about what happened, and Victoria suggests that Cal come with her to Apophel Academy to seek peace and a better understanding of his attitude. They both leave, leaving me with Kane, who asks if they want to battle to see if he has a chance against Shelly. But before we do that, a lot of stuff has opened up for us now that we are able to use Rock Smash. First, we evolve our starter into a Blaziken. Then, we head back down into the stairway to get the mining tools until we find a blue, shiny Sandshrew that we name Lobster. We then get a bunch of different fossils and evolution items, as well as Solrock, we name Cantaloupe. We then go all the way back to the Underroot to get Prawn the Skrelp, Rabbit the Bunnelby, and Victoria the Nidorina in Beryl Cave, Happy Meal the Baltoy at this shrine, Pumpkin the Pumpkaboo, and then find Cory on this rooftop. And after chasing them around the map, they appear in this house where it turns out to be a Zorora, who we name Fox. We then go to the Onyx Ward and find a Porygon we call Skittles, break through this rock in front of the power plant to find Woobat, which we kill with a crit. We then grab Frog's Legs the Krogunk, and after breaking this rock in the wall and using an Ice Heal, we get a Mora, we call Dry Age Steak. Next stream, check me out live at 7 PM BST, we go back and fight Kane. He starts off with Brionne and we have Dragon Fruit out, so we immediately switch to Sour Patch who can take them out. Next is Alola Marowak, so we switch back to Dragon Fruit as they miss a Bone Meringue, thanks to Levitate, which allows us to kill using Earthquake. They then bring in Nidoking, so we stay in and use Earthquake as they go for Thrash. Trapped into the move, we switch to Taco Bell to resist and kill with Psywave. Finally, they're sending Grimer, so we switch to Hot Wings for the kill. After the battle, we see Heather scaling the building to come see Shelly. After Kane talks about Heather's parents' death, the doctor exits the building, overhearing our conversation, and he offers her to stay at the orphanage. Heather then calls him a creep, which provokes him to read the law that states that children will be taken into his care if they do not have any legal guardians, forcing her to come with him. After witnessing the whole charade, Shelly comes out to see what's going on. As Kane explains, they formulate a plan to get Heather back out of custody of Dr. Geezer. We then approach the door to see it unlock before our eyes, as we see above us that Heather is being strapped up and talk about electrotherapy adjusting the voltage as Heather continues to resist, showing the warners that Anna gave us.
From above. Hi again! I saw Rebel's glowiness through the wall, so I unlocked the door. Glowiness? Rebel glows! It's amazing! Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you. Haha, hey! I'm Kane. You're pretty peppy. She always is. And always when it's least appropriate. But that's when it's the most necessary. So, like, why are you guys here? Is it about the girl that was just brought in? She was kicking and screaming the whole way. Not that that's unusual. We're going to save her. Yeah, it's a prison break. You guys wanna come? Are you kidding? I was halfway at the door by the time you said prison break, metaphorically if nothing else. Well, we're not leaving without Heather. Of course you aren't. Besides, it's only a matter of seconds until the orderlies crash the party and toss you out. Our Pokémon were confiscated, so we can't help. Not with that attitude. I bet I can hold a few of them up for you. But if you don't come back for me, heads are gonna roll. Deal? Deal. Charlotte, what are you doing? Creating a diversion. Go for it. Try me. Fine, let's go, Charlotte. No, gimme! Let go of me! Ow, she bit me. Hey, help me out here. Get her into the circuit. Who's that at the door? Oh, they saw us. It's currently outside of visiting hours. We're going to have to ask you to leave.
The orderlies then fight us in a double battle, but they are easily defeated with our combined strength. We then go through the building, fighting everyone we find until the path is blocked, and we have to go the long way in order to get to the top. We then formulate a team to take on Dr. Canal, evolving Happiny all the way up to a Blissey, leveling up Fox, changing Sour Patch's ability to Volt Absorb using an ability capsule, and evolving our Blue Lobster as we make our way to the top.
Heather! And the last guests arrive. It's party now. What do you think, Doctor? Have you gotten a diagnosis for your situation? I think I do. Royally effed. Cute. Have you had your fun, Charlotte? We can deal with your insensate habits of acting out and manipulating others in your own session. This is Heather's session, presently, and you are interrupting it. Sorry, Doctor, I'm afraid you're missing the mark. I'm not the ringleader of this circus. They're here for the girl. Let her go, right now. You're just a little bit outnumbered, Dr. Geezer. I think you should probably just fold. There's little point to denying that, but I would ask that you question if your impulses and wild charades are truly the best thing for this girl. They're better than lighting her up like a holiday tree. Now let her go, okay? Please let her go? Enough. I care little for this power struggle. Have it your way. Take the girl. Heather? Are you okay? By the by, I have already taken the liberty of contacting the authorities about this incident. You will all shortly be apprehended. We got her, Heather. I say we split. On the double. Everyone, let's go. Rebel, hurry up. You're the last one down. Works for me. Let's make the break. Come on, Heather, we're getting out. Please don't tell me I get stopped. God damn it! I think not. You had numbers before, now they left. Under the authority vested in me by the city of Reborn, I will be taking both of you into custody. Rebel! You don't need to do this. Submit peacefully and your punishments will yet be gentle. Gentle? You don't even know the meaning of the word. Allow me to show you just how little it can mean to me.
Dr. Cornell starts off with Electivire, and we start off with Sour Patch, who can just barely live out their attacks. They then send in Rotom, so we switch to Blissey and use Copycat to make us both confused. We then switch to Lobster to prevent the Thunder Wave, and then go back into Blissey, but they confuse Ray again. This goes on for a while, so I'll just skip ahead to where they switch to Musharna, and we switch to Durin, who can kill in 2 shots. They then go into Hypno for some reason, but they get off a critical hit Psybeam, which is not good. They then go to Alolan Raichu, as we switch to Lobster, who nullifies the Nuzzle, and lives on 4 HP to kill with Magnitude 8. Then finally, it's the Rotom. And after what felt like an hour, we managed to finish them off with no casualties. As we're about to leave, he gives us an ominous warning.
Your commitment to lawlessness and disruption is truly inspiring. What good is the law that keeps us trapped with someone who can't tell the difference between hurting and healing? Rebel saved us. Come on, let's go catch up with the others. Consider carefully, Rebel. If the delusions of a child are truly the best place for you to lay your trust. Are you sure that was wise? What? Who in the blazes are you? What are you doing here? Really, Doctor? You've had rats scurry about all this time, and you ask why the cat appears. Identify yourself. I'm a huge fan of your work on ECT. I found it very useful in my operations. Doctor, I understand that you've lost something. I believe we can be of some benefit to each other.
We then run to the underground rail net and wonder why the door isn't working. Eventually, we deduce it's on a different power supply to the city and hasn't worked since Shade, our next gym leader to fight, took it over as his gym. So, we are tasked to head there and turn on the power for us. We then head over to Beryl to grab Ghost Pepper the Duskull and formulate a team to take him on. He first starts with a Gengar named Corey, and we start with Sour Patch. They use Hypnosis, which hits, but thanks to our Chesto Berry, we wake up immediately and use Discharge, and luckily we get the paralysis. We then go to Dog as they get paralysed on the switch, letting us outspeed and kill with Crunch. They then send in Mimikyu, so we switch to Jurian, who gets hit for just above half their HP. They then attack again, hoping it doesn't crit, as we go for acid spray to break their disguise. We then use Sucker Punch, sacrificing them to get a clear switch to Lemon Juice for Intimidate, as we pivot into Sour Patch, but instead of attacking, they go into Rotom. We then switch to Dog, confident it won't use Discharge, as it uses Confuse Ray. We then hope the Discharge doesn't kill, but the field boosted the attack, which means they go down. We then resort to using Sour Patch and Discharge, as they use Shadow Ball and get the special defense drop. After protecting for a turn, we use Discharge again to get them under half. We then protect again and finally decide to switch to Lamb as we Discharge again as we get confused. He then uses Shadow Ball, leaving us in the red after we hit ourselves in confusion. We then get one last quick Claw Pop, but it's just not enough to kill, and we go down. We then switch to Hot Wings and use an overpowered gem-boosted Blaze Kick to kill as they go into Mimikyu. We then pivot to Lemon Juice to Intimidate as they hit a weak Shadow Claw, and we go into Sour Patch to absorb the Thunderbolt thanks to our ability. Healing us, it lets us take the hit and use Discharge for maximum boost. They then go to Delmise as we go into Lemon Juice on the Giga Drain, as they switch again into Doublade and become focused. This means that they will always crit on their first attack, and because Lemon Juice doesn't do well here, we need to sack Sour Patch. Don't worry my friend, you served your purpose. Die with honor. This allows Hot Wings to come in and kill with a Blaze Kick. Next is Banette, who again becomes focused and has Dazzling Gleam. So, we then go to our last other Pokemon to take the hit. We then switch one last time, and thankfully they don't crit, as we get off a very hard Blaze Kick twice in a row. Bearing in mind, this is a 90% accurate move, as we see when we miss on Delmise coming in. As they hit, leaving us in the red, we now manage to hit and finish the fight.
Power activate. Observe. Ah, it opened. Ribble did it. Oh, we didn't even need to use this stupid machine. It was about time. Greetings, all. And just who are you? That's of no consequence to you. Seize them. Ah! Kane, catch! What? Just run! Hey, hands off her! An interesting request. How about we talk about it inside? Shoot! Nidoking! Use Earthquake, now! Let's bolt. Oh wait, sorry. Let's bolt. Commander Cyrus, let him go. He's not part of our deal. We've got everything we needed. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Since when do men serve swine? So nice of you to drop in, Private. Agent. You were promoted then. That is awfully quick. A spot was vacant, after all. Ah, Aureus. I had hoped to wring his neck myself. A new systems manager has also been chosen. So I heard, after what happened with Ace. You would do well to mind your new company. You would do well to mind your manners. Promotion or not, I'm still your commanding officer. In title? And just what does that mean? Titles are meaningless. Results are what matter. Did you come here solely to tell me things I already know? No. I came to deliver a warning. Know your place, or it will make itself known to you. Impudent wench. Well, don't just stand there gawking. There's work to be done. Yes, sir.
After the major loss that was Shade, we bring together a team and make our way back until we are stopped by Kane, who says he's looking for us and makes his way inside the police station. Following him, we see Amaria on a computer trying to decode a file that was found on a chip that Anna threw, until Ace appears. We are immediately on guard until Amaria stops us, saying that they saved their life, as we get a flashback.
After I made an opening for Rebel and Borealis to escape, I faced off against that woman. Lynn. That was her name. The battle was, in a word, embarrassing. This is a gym leader? This is the best that can be expected? I don't understand. You don't understand? How is it over so quickly? What is there to question? You are weak. That is all. No, you are powerless. Surrender the bracelets. Wait, what? I was wondering about those. These were a gift. I won't just give them up to you. You will give them up willingly. There is no other option. Stop it! You will give them up willingly. That's enough. Just moments ago, you chastised another for protecting an enemy. Are a few stray seconds all it takes to break your spirit? I accept loyalty to the family, not needless cruelty. You've taken it too far already. But now we capture her without harming her. As your superior, that's an order. Understood. As the superior officer, that order will be your last.
And after an extravagant performance from Ace, we get the information and find that there are multiple pulses set to be stationed in different parts of Reborn, the closest being the Blackstein factory in Peridot. But before we head there, we go to see some encounters, like Beans the Aran and Dove the Pidove, evolving Pineapple and then talking to Ace before we enter, where they ask for our favourite nature. And because this wasn't part of the original game, I answer honestly and get a good mint that is sort of useless. We then talk to Amaria and wonder how to get inside until Ace chirps up and practically teleports us up there. We then enter the factory and face off against two grunts that get absolutely decimated by Amaria and their level 70 Pokémon. Making our way to the lower floor, we see a large group blocking the path as Amaria makes an opening for us. Taking the chance, we head down to see Ace already in, revealing themselves to have double-crossed us and pushed us into the oldest trick in the book, a trapdoor. We solve the puzzle inside the cage and eventually make our way to the room the pulse is in.
Boss? It looks like one of them escaped. So, let's see. Stand aside. I will deal with him myself. I know you didn't ask, but if you want my opinion, you really probably shouldn't have come here. When we first met below the stairway, I assumed it was more coincidence. I understand that our meetings are not due to any semblance of chance. They are a pattern of disrespect. I do not take kindly to being disrespected. In due time, this machine will surely kill this monk. It is necessary sacrifice for the good of the region. One can accomplish nothing if they are not willing to make sacrifices. So, Rebel, what will you sacrifice? Your time? Your spirit? Or perhaps much like this monk, which so desperately calls for your help, your life? Atlantis, quickly! Ice beam! What luck. I should have just disposed of the both in the first place. Not on my watch. Garchomp, return. Oh, Garchomp, return. Rebel, are you okay? That was close. So, you're the girl with the sapphire bracelets. I propose a trade. They're bracelets for your lives. What? They are not trinkets to you, are they not? They are mid-trinkets to you, are they not? No! Tanya gave these to me. I don't want to lose them. Tanya, is it? What's so funny? Are you entirely sure you can trust this Tanya of yours? With my whole heart. She's the most important person in the world to me. I wouldn't even be alive without her. Anything she gives me is precious. That's why I'll defend it with my dying breath. To your dying breath it is. Then do so. Rebel, try to deactivate the pulse while I'm keeping busy. I don't think so. It would seem your presence here is an impediment. So get the hell out already.
They start with Glaceon and we start with Hot Wings, who can easily kill. They then go into Espeon, which we switch to Bubblegum, who just takes about under half, and thinking that was a high roll, we stay in, but to our surprise, it kills. So we switch to Taco Bell, who can use Gyro Ball to kill. They then send in Umbreon, and we switch to Hot Wings again to eventually kill with Double Kick. And finally, it's the Pulse Muck that has Protein as its ability. So we pivot to Blubber, predicting the Muddy Water, and then go to Lobster, who nullifies the discharge and allows us to hit with a magnitude 9, just barely missing the kill as they go for Mud Bomb. But we outspeed and finish it off. After the fight, Zell blurts out Solaris' name as they realise the situation and are forced to retreat, but not without injuring Amaria in the process. They then give us keys to the boat to help us get strength and save the children, while also warning the academy there to evacuate. Immediately making our way over there, we catch Sand the Sandygast and Sea Cucumber the Pukamuku. We then head down to the training area to find the sensei at the academy called Kiki, and explain to them that the pulse is meant to be set. Victoria also shows up to discuss the situation, and she is happy to give us strength, but due to us being an outsider, they won't give it to us. However, due to the circumstances, we get to fight either Victoria or their new arrival, Cal, who's meditating at the top of the mountain, as a justified way to challenge Kiki for the HM. So, we decide to fight Victoria. They start with Pangoro and we start with Hot Wings. We protect to get our free speed buff, and then kill them with 2 double kicks. They then send in Gallade, so we switch to Fox, who protects to see what it goes for, and we decide that we can take the hit to deal a bunch of damage. But as our disguise is revealed, we switch to Kiwi, where they get a crit. We can kill it next turn, but now we can't use them anymore as they send in Mienfoo. We switch to Taco Bell as they use Fake Out. Trying to go for the kill, they switch to Incineroar for free. So we go to Hot Wings to try to resist the second crit. We are now in a position where we outspeed but have no idea whether we kill. So we switch to Taco Bell again and successfully get off a Hypnosis after another crit. We now go back to Hot Wings on the first turn of sleep. Attack on the second turn where they wake up and kill. With another crit to seal the deal. We then go to Pineapple to Fake Out and kill with Thunderbolt. They then bring in their own Raichu, so we switch to Fox, who can kill with Foul Play. Finally, it's Mienfoo, so we go to Happy Meal and finish the fight. After that, it was stunned silence for 13 minutes straight as I try to rebuild the team with Arcanine as our focus. And to add to the sadness, we tried to get more encounters but are met with almost losing our Pokemon to a Slugma, balls, and also sand as the roof collapses in after Graveler uses 2 bulldozers, which happens because of the field. But we caught it because it has Sturdy and we name it Pebble. In lighter news, we find a shiny Numel and name it Cherry Pie after mining a bunch of rocks in the area. And with that, we get our team together and fight Kiki. They start with Machamp and we start with Kiwi, who can kill in one shot. Then they go to Lucario, so we pivot to Taco Bell and then go to Plum as they Calm Mind. We then live the Psychic on 5 HP and kill with Force Palm. They then go to Toxicroak, so we switch to Dragon Fruit as they go for Strength, taking over half our HP. We then do the Calcs and go for Earthquake as they go for Sucker Punch, finishing them off. They then go to Gallade, so we decide to sack Plum, who has outlived his usefulness, allowing us to go into Kiwi and kill with Fachade. Then comes in both Hitmonlee and Medicham, but they are no match for our Guts boosted attacks. After the fight, Kiki collapses from her poor condition. Kiki is then disappointed and embarrassed by the display, but Victoria tries her hardest to lift her spirits. It is then revealed that she no longer has the HM for Strength, as it was stolen and hoped to find it after completing the tasks set. Victoria then apologises in advance as information gets to her that there has been news about suspicious folk on Azurine Island, and we are tasked to take care of it while Victoria takes care of things here at the Academy. As we make our way to Azurine, we get Sleeslug the Shellos and Mushroom the Fungus. We then progress further and get jumped by Asta and Eclipse, unprepared for the fight, which is bad. In double battle style format, they start with both Lunatone and Solrock, with Kiwi and Pineapple in front. We immediately swap to Beans and Dragon Fruit to resist the rock slides. We decide to focus the Lunatone as they focus on Dragon Fruit with Psywave. We then use Rock Slide with Bean and bring Blubber in on both Psywave and Foul Play. We then use Blizzard as they go for Rock Slide and Reflect as Beans gets flinched. We then switch to Pineapple on the Rock Slide and they miss as Orango uses Nature Power, turning into Muddy Water, which also misses Bean, as we also miss with Iron Tail. We then fake out the Soul Rock, forgetting that Orangoro has Foul Play, as we kill them with Iron Tail. We then go into Blubber as they go to Lycanroc. They Accel Rock to kill Blubber, as we don't even manage to kill with Iron Tail. We then go to Kiwi to protect as we miss an Iron Tail again. We then go to Dragon Fruit hoping to live, but they end up getting comboed and live on 1. They then go to Passimian, so we protect and switch to Kiwi. Kiwi then outspeeds and kills with Fachade. Finally, it's the Lycanroc. So we protect the Rock Slide and hit with Iron Tail to finally finish the fight. After this, we had to prepare and make up for our losses, getting Frosting the Swirlix, Pomegranate the Spritzee, and join the Magma Gang to get the Firestone and Dogfish the Weasel. Then comes the next big fight, where Kiwi is key. So we pre-burn them and give them the Silk Scarf that we have in order to sweep through the Mons. Making our way inside, opening this secret door and healing our Pokemon just in case we go in. There we see Taka with Kane caged up, and after some backstory and finding out that they're going to erupt the volcano in a brothel, we fight. We start with Dragon Fruit and they start with Klefki, and we instantly kill with Earthquake. And as we're about to switch, I see the biggest mistake of this run. Hoping our countermeasures work, we switch to Pebble and use Rock Blast that hits twice into Alolan Exeggutor. So we go to Pomegranate, protecting and killing with Moonblast as we get crit on the Wood Hammer. Then it's Gligar again, so we go into Pebble as they attack with Acrobatics. They then hit with Night Slash as we miss the Rock Blast. We switch to Dragon Fruit to resist and get off a Rock Slide that does nothing, as they use Acrobatics and leaves us with no choice but to go into Bean, who has the eject button, to then bring in Kiwi, who tries to protect, but they just get off a roost instead, almost knowing what I was doing. Then we trade blows, leaving Kiwi very low. We then go back to Bean on a Night Slash and painfully miss twice in a row as they roost again, and we miss a Rock Slide this time. until eventually we switch to Pebble and we mistakenly use Earthquake, hoping it went for Roost again. As we miss again with Rock Blast, forcing our hand and sacking Pebble. Then we go to Dragon Fruit, who uses Dragon Claw, but they kill with Acrobatics, leaving Kiwi to take them out. We then go to Poached, as they take their time to set up max special attack, as we get max evasion. Then, after them hitting twice in a row, we heal, and after a while of more missing and hitting ourselves in confusion, they finally kill, and everybody else is swept. And that's it. All that progress for naught because of a knee-jerk reaction to heal. I attempted this one last time, but lost to Shelly, and for the content I continued it past this point. So if you want to see that, go check it out on my VODs channel. It's at this point that I decided to move on. Not wanting to go through the game over and over again, I thought it could be a good end as a Season 1. I love this game to death, and I 100% recommend you play it blind, as the hardest Pokemon game you'll ever play, even without Nuzlocking it. With that all being said, I will come back to this series, and I'll see you all next time.